Hello, what's going on, peeps? We're here to talk about Konnakol, my brand new album. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments, and we'll try and answer as many as possible for you. Hello, what's happening? What's going on? First, I'm going to say, does anybody have any questions regarding the album? Come on, I'm sure you do. Asia tour. Asia tour. I haven't really got it in the diary yet, but it's definitely in the mind. Been thinking about it. I'm very excited to come back out to Asia. Not performed there since I was in the band, so that'll be really cool. How long is the album? I do believe we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 songs on the immediate album. And then there will be hopefully a deluxe, at some point with some extra songs on there too. What's happening? Someone call me an old fart. I don't know if I qualify as an old fart yet, but I appreciate the joke. So yeah, this is the album that you can purchase. If you're watching on TalkShop Live, click the shop button. If you're watching on Facebook, comment the word shop for links to order. If you're watching on YouTube, click the link in the description. Konnakol. Anyone got any questions about this? From Vietnam. Love you too. Hola. Love you too. Please come to Germany. I think there's definitely plans to come to Europe, so Germany will be in there, I'm guessing. But yeah, any questions you've got about the record, just feel free to ask me, and I'll try to answer them. Ordered for my daughter. Nice. It's a good parent right there. Take note, people. It's a good gift. What song are you most excited for? On the record, I am most excited about you guys probably hearing Met Tonight. It's a bit different. It's got a bit more of like a dancehall type of vibe to it. So I'm excited to see what the fans think of that one. In terms of like performance, performing them live, I really enjoyed doing Used to the Blues in Vegas. That was really fun. It felt like a different thing, like it wasn't really my usual type of music. It was a bit different, and I enjoyed that. It was fun. At one point, the Calamity song played from Nobody's Listening too, and that felt pretty sick too. Not gonna lie, it felt good on stage. Yeah. Can I release it sooner? Unfortunately, that's not how things work. There is an actual date in place. I think we have to adhere to the schedule. But if I could release it sooner, I would have released it the day I was finished with it. It don't really work like that. Second date on the same day. Oh, hello. How's it going? What inspired you to write this album? You, the fans. I was kind of writing it, the record, I had the backbone of it, but it was called Fuchsia Sea. And I was writing it whilst I was writing Rumor of the Stairs. So I was doing them both at the same time. And then when I did the tour, the Stairway to the Sky tour, I was on stage. I seen what you guys were responding to in terms of what music was making you move, and what we got the best reaction from, and that just inspired me to want to go back then to the drawing board when I got home, and inject a bit more of what I seen that you guys were enjoying, and then try to inject a bit more Indian influence in there. Um, and that's why it's called Konnakol. Yeah, so that's what inspired this record. Which track is my favorite? I think I already said that. Used to the Blues is definitely one of my favorite songs on there. Yeah, I really like it. It's cool. Hello, everybody. Just looking through for some more questions here on the side, just seeing if there's anything that you guys are asking. Which song from Konnakol are you most excited for us to hear? I think I answered that. I'm excited for you to hear Met tonight. It's a bit different. I think the fans are gonna love it. I've got a few songs on here though that I'm excited for you to listen to. I'll be honest. There's Prayers is a great song, I think, and Blooming is a great song too. I have another song on there called Breathe, which is got a lot of I want to say like sweat vibes. You know, it's got that kind of feel to it. It's epic. Most of the songs are about sex, case you didn't know that. And yeah, they're just cool songs. You know, it's music that I would listen to myself for sure. This is the CD right here, just in case you guys forgot. Here it is, me with a snow leopard face. If you're watching on Talk Shop Live, click the shop button. If you're watching on Facebook, comment the word shop for links to order. And then if you're watching on YouTube, click the link in the description. There it is. Uh, what else are you guys asking me? What's one thing about this album that fans might not expect, but you're really excited for them to discover? Uh, it's hard, you know, for me to answer that question because I don't really know what people expect individually. In terms of my previous projects and you know how it's different is there's a lot more Indian influence in there and Pakistani influence and South Asian vibes going on. And we've lent into that in a big way on this record because it was the basis for the production. So I was singing sounds that sounded very, you know, like Qawwali kind of sounding stuff and Sufi sounding things that we were doing. We used for the main basis of the production, and it worked for us. It gave us this world. I could see the world, but we couldn't quite create it because there was no reference point. It didn't exist, so we did it from scratch. And I'm excited for the fans to hear that and you know listen to it and figure out how that worked. Here's an interesting question. Not my words, somebody else's. What kind of crack did you put into Fatal? Because ever since Vegas, I've been obsessed. I can confirm there was no crack involved in the making of that song. It's just a good song. It's vibey. It's a dance tune. You know, it's a type of song that gets you off your feet if you are at a concert, and you know you can let your hair down for a minute and proper, you know, twerk out and do your thing. A lot of my music usually is a bit, you know, emotional, contemplative, stoic, shall we say, delicate. So that's not like that. And I think that's what you know I was honing in on with the fact that I wanted to make this record for the fans, rather than just you know what I might necessarily want to put out. It was for you guys and for the type of music that I would listen to in that space, you know. Recording, how did the recording process work? Somebody asked. And the recording process was pretty similar to Room Under the Stairs and some of the music that I've done of recent years. Basically, was in the studio in PA the whole time, working there, right next to my home, recording. It makes a for a way better like environment for me when I'm recording. It feels safe there. feel like I know it, and I feel comfortable expressing myself and making music there. What was your main goal for this album? Was there a specific message or sound you wanted to capture? Yeah. The goal was, to make songs that my fan base wanted to hear, and make cool music. I'm just trying to get better with everything I'm doing. I never want to give anything that I don't feel like I've given 110% on. So yeah, just took it serious and tried to show, there's progression there and there's a growth with that. Hello, what's happening? Yeah. Any more questions about the album? Whatever you want to ask, yeah, feel free. They can be a bit cheeky too. They don't have to be all real serious. It is the album. Just while I'm scrolling through looking for a question. This is it here. Konnakol. See that? If you're watching on Talk Shop Live, click the shop button. If you're watching on Facebook, comment the word shop for the links to order. And if you are watching on YouTube, click the link in the description. Here it is. Da da da. I feel like I'm working for QVC. What does being under oh that one went. What does being understood mean to you today compared to when you first started making music? I think that question was. Question went. Uh, Being understood, what does it mean now as opposed to then? Well, to be honest, um, I was so young in the band that I don't think I really knew what it was that I wanted people to understand yet myself. I hadn't figured that out. At this point, there's a lot more conviction, growth. I want to share certain things about my personality, my interests, my musical interests, and I have a lot more identity now. I would say, I've lived a little bit longer, so there's definitely a change there. But yeah, I just don't even think I knew what I wanted people to understand when it first started. Anyway. Are you excited to perform in Birmingham? Yes, random shout. Very excited for Birmingham for sure. What does the leopard mean to you? The snow leopard is an animal that is native of South Asia, Pakistan, them kind of places. So it just made sense to me that we use something that is symbolic in that sense on the cover. It's a very striking looking animal. So I wanted to use it, and it made sense. Obviously, with the record being called Konnakol, it just summed it all up for me when we got that artwork done, and the idea was executed. Felt like it made a lot of sense. What? Who inspired you to do music? Uh, Who inspired me to do music? I don't know if anyone in particular like inspired me specifically. One person. Grew up in a time where there was a lot of great music. A lot of great artists, and all the people I was listening to pretty much inspired me to want to make music. Uh, Also, the fact that like I started taking like theater studies quite seriously when I was about 11, 12, and there was a singing element in that, and people would tell me that I had a good voice, and it made me feel good. So I was like, okay, cool, this is something I'm good at here. And then I really started taking singing properly serious. I want to say probably around like 15, 16, just a couple of years before I auditioned for the show. So yeah, not a specific person, just a amalgamation of events. Do you have a set list for tour yet? Is Used to the Blue still on it? Do have a tour set list. I've had it there for a minute. It's rejigged a little bit since Vegas because obviously there's other songs on the album that I want to put on there. Used to the Blues is still on there. It's going to be a heavy Konnakol tour. That's why I'm going on tour, so you guys can listen to this music firsthand and feel like you're a part of it with me. So yeah, and here it is. On that note, here's the album. Back to QVC Zayn. Hey. If you're watching on Talk Shop Live, click the shop button. If you're watching on Facebook, comment the word shop for links to order. And if you're watching on YouTube, click the link in the description. I'm just scrolling through, just so you know, when I'm looking over to the left, I'm just scrolling through trying to find questions from you guys. So, what was the hardest part about making this record? I actually did a few interviews today for Spotify and stuff, and that was a question that came up there, and this was the answer there, and it's the same answer for you. It wasn't really difficult. I'll be honest with you. I was working on the record the entire time I was doing Room anyway. And I had the idea and the premise there, and then with the, newfound like inspiration after being on stage, it just felt like it came out real easy. I hadn't worked with Malay in over 10 years at that point either. So it was good to reconnect with him. I feel like it was a combination of that and the stage. We hadn't seen each other in a long time, and things just seemed to come together quite easy. Whilst we're back here it is. Here's the album cover again. If you're watching on Talk Shop Live, click the shop button. If you're watching on Facebook, comment the word shop for links to order. And if you're watching on YouTube, click the links in the description. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, I can't remember what the question was. I was really enjoying answering it. I remember that, but I'm going to look through and see if there's some other questions. Do. Wow, it's going so fast right now. Going like 700 miles an hour. Is there a way I can stop it? I can't even see any questions right now, unless I could read at 700 miles per hour. Here we go. What emotion do you chase when writing music? Much love. What emotion do I chase? I don't really chase emotions. Emotions chase me in life, and that's how it works. So when you live and you go through certain things, you get the inspiration as and when it happens. The type of person I am, even in general. I don't know if you've been a fan of me for 5 seconds or you've been a fan of me for 10 years, but I'm not really a person that chases things like that. I don't really chase anything. I wait for things to kind of happen themselves. And that's just the way I've always been. So yeah, like I'm always aspiring to get better, with the music and improve. But I'm never chasing an emotion. It's more like a release, trying to understand an emotion. Which song is the freakiest? Good question. Take turns, pretty freaky. Breathe, definitely freaky. Uh, Met tonight, freaky. Sideways, freaky. Yeah, there's a lot of songs in here that are freaky to answer your question. Uh, Tell us about the album cover. What's with the leopard? I already did that, right? Did you get the inspiration for? Okay, yeah, we did that. Your daughter said I deserve a hi from you. I'm just following orders. All right. Well, seeing as though my daughter said it, hi. Hashtag Zayn on Talk Shop Live. Brea C, was there anything new you learned about your heritage while making this album? I don't think there was anything new I learned about my heritage. I think it was just the idea of wanting to employ more of my, my knowledge of my heritage and the things that have inspired me and put it into the music. Whenever I've put certain like Indian influence in certain songs, like did it on Dust Till Dawn, which is probably one of my bigger songs. It feels like it instantly makes it like it's a me song, and it's not just anybody. It has to be me singing that. So that's why I do it. And yeah, I didn't learn anything new about my culture. I just wanted to celebrate it more for sure. which track has the most of the Konnakol technique? Nusrat probably, but then Betting Folk has it quite a bit in there too. Prayers has it in there. It's on a few. So yeah, but I'd say Nusrat's probably the heaviest. Yeah. What's the one question you wish people would ask you about this album but haven't yet? Uh, did you enjoy making it? I think people have asked me that, but I think that's always key. If you're enjoying the process in the studio and that side of things, it feels like it always works better in the end up. So yeah, just definitely enjoyed making this record. Um, Somebody wrote there, you singing in Urdu on the album. I'm not singing on Urdu in the album. There's um, some songs that I have, they're in the vault where I'm singing heavy Urdu, but not for this. I'll give you a little wink. You know what I mean? Maybe there's another project for the heavy Urdu and maybe even Punjabi. Um, my father spoke both, so we'll see. What position was being mentioned on Sideways? Sorry, suggestive question. I think I know what you mean there. There was no position being suggested. You do with that what you will, but there's no specific position, just sideways in the bed. Hi Zayn, my name is Bruno from Brazil. I'll be in the front row of your show in Brazil, and my biggest dream is to be noticed by you. Could you send me a kiss? It would make my dream come true. Sure, I think I can respond to this. Keys. There you go. Talking about working with Malay. Yes, I was talking about working with Malay. Yeah, did majority of the record with Malay. I had a few songs on there already that were kind of on the Future C record that I didn't do with Malay. But yeah, the body of Konnakol, like when we took it to that direction, yeah, it was pretty much me, Malejo, and Mickey Echo was involved as well. He's a great writer, and he definitely helped the whole process. Do we get a saucy photo in the vinyl like in the Mind of Mine one? I think you do. I think you get an extra picture, yeah. And there's some exclusive versions with certain people. And off the top of my head, I can't remember exactly where they are. I know there's one definitely in the Walmart special that we've done with them. And I think there's a picture in the vinyl too. Like I think there's a big photo in there. Is there a dress code for tour? Not really. you you guys can wear whatever you choose to wear. That's really up to you. Any plans for Mind of Mine anniversary? I don't actually have any plans. It is the anniversary of Mind of Mine today. I mentioned that a couple of times. And I think I put a video up today saying thank you. Yeah, it's weird, man. I'll be honest with you. I ain't got no plans, but it's weird that it's been 10 years. It doesn't feel like it's been that long, and it feels like it's been a very long time at the same time. So it's a bit strange, you know what I mean? But good feelings. I'm back. I'm here. We're in the right place at the right time. So yeah, everything happens for a reason. I'm gonna do this now, just because I'm looking through questions. Here's the album again. If you're watching on Talk Shop Live, click the shop button. If you're watching on Facebook, comment the word shop for links to order. And if you're watching on YouTube, click the link in the description. Here it is. What do you think? Do you think I could get a QVC job? Not that bad, right? Just smile. Buy this. Please. Going real fast again. I'll slow this down. Favorite song from Icarus Falls. There's 40 songs on that record, so it's hard for me to pick one. But I did really like Tightrope on Icarus Falls. That has the Indian bridge in it, the John Vika Chan. John Vika Chan. So that would have definitely gone on this record if we'd have not released it before. But who knows? Maybe I can throw it in there, on the tour as a little surprise song. We're going to be doing little things here and there. I'll be doing odd songs, at certain shows that will only be for one show, and then I'll mix it up and I'll do, somewhere else that is, still fun for people to listen to. Because I don't want it to be too repetitive. I want people to have different things. What risks did I take on this album that I might have not took before? I don't know if there's any specific risks. I just really lent into what you guys wanted, and I felt like for the first time in a minute, I was sure of what it was that you were responding to. So I just wanted to make a record that embodied that, I guess. But I didn't. It didn't feel like it was risk taking. I'll be honest. It felt fun. Any South Asian artists songs that inspired you? Yeah, there's loads. Yeah, I don't even know where to start. Um, there's a song in I think it's in Agnipath. Um, I think Sonu Nigam sings it. Can't remember the title for the life of me right this second. But it's an amazing song. It's one of my favorite Bollywood songs. Yeah, it'll come back to me. The name of the song, just can't remember right now. You know how that happens, right? Sometimes you just forget things. Because my daughter watched My Little Pony. Can confirm. I don't believe she does. She's more of a Teen Titans Go girl. Is my daughter. She likes she likes the superheroes. How have you worked to overcome anxiety? Interesting question. I don't know, what the specific thing is. I think there's just been a general rehaul in, my mental space of thinking about certain things, and just trying to think, more in a positive headspace, and hope that makes me feel more confident in certain situations. And it does. I feel a lot more like in control of things in the last few years in terms of the performance, being on stage, things like that. I was in a band for the 5 biggest years of my career, and I was used to being stood on stage with other people, so that initial transition was a bit jarring for me, and it was something I wasn't used to, and maybe something I didn't feel like I had control over. So I think it spiked feelings of anxiety. And since I feel like I've took the reins, the anxiety seems to have took a backseat. It's not a backseat driver either. It just doesn't really annoy me as much anymore. I hope that answers your question. Which song feels timeless to me? On Konnakol, this album right here, is probably Blooming. Blooming has a real um, eerie, beautiful thing going on, similar to It's You, um, which is one of my favorite songs to sing on stage. I don't know if you've ever been to a show of mine, but whenever I sing that song, I always say this is my favorite song. So I hope you enjoy it. And Blooming feels like that. It feels like it can live for a long time, and always be beautiful. There's a lot of emotion in it. It's very well written. And yeah, it's a song that I'm very proud to be representing. And when did you learn the Konnakol technique? Konnakol techniques are used in a lot of music that I've listened to. um, from being a kid. I don't think I knew it was called Konnakol then. I just kind of, you know, subconsciously just took it in. So I don't know when I learned the technique, to be honest. Probably when I was like 5, 6 years old, listening to some music at a wedding. Has Kai heard the album? She has. She's heard bits of it. Some of it I have to like, censor and bleep certain words out because I cuss a bit. But she loves it. She thinks it's so cool. And whenever I say a swear word, she seems to find that quite cool too. Because I have to be playing the dad role with her usually. So when she sees, oh, dad's singing this song and he say this word, I think it makes her have a little cheeky laugh to herself. Be Mujamekahi. There you go. That's the song. Somebody wrote on the side for me there. I appreciate you. Yeah, that's the song. I love that song. It's a great song. Thank you, Harleen Kaur. Can I say hi, Ivy? Hello, Ivy. How you doing? Yeah. So if you've got any other questions, just whack them in comments. And I'm gonna do this again. Here's the album. Hey, if you're watching on Talk Shop Live, click the shop button. If you're watching on Facebook, comment the word shop for links to order. And if you're watching on YouTube, click the link in the description, wherever that is nowadays. Who knows? Your 5 solo albums. Which one is your favorite? Lots of love, Kylie G. My favorite album at this point, uh, it has to be Konnakol, you know. And I know it sounds crazy because I'm trying to plug this, but the truth is, there's a development with anything you're doing, and I've been doing this for a big part of my life now, and I'm sure a lot of people would hope to progress, you know what I mean, in that way. And I feel like I have. I feel like my vocals are better than they were on any of the other records, and my writing's better, and the identity's there. I know what a Zayn song is now, as opposed to when I was doing Mind of Mine, which was just the first project after the band, and it was just kind of me really starting to figure out like where do I want to take this, and now it feels a lot more solidified. So I'll have to say Konnakol. Yeah. If Konnakol was a movie, what kind of film would it be? Good question. I honestly don't know. I think it'd be a high emotion driven movie. There'd be a lot of dramatics. There'd be a lot of intense feelings because that's what the album is giving off. In terms of genre, I don't know where I'd put it because you could put all them attributes in any genre of movie. It just really depends, I guess. It's definitely not a musical. I'll say that, but where it sits beyond that, I don't know. I couldn't give you an answer. Great question. How many songs have been cut from the album? Honestly, not too many. There was a few songs that were on the original record on Fuchsia that I took off there, but all the songs that I did with Malay, I think out of all the songs we did, I think like maybe 3 or 4 of them weren't used, and the rest of them were. Yeah. What is the fifth element? It's weird that you asked that question because it's a song on the album, but also because yesterday when I got to New York, I was like stuck on TV and randomly Fifth Element was just playing on TV, and I was like, hey, it's a sign. Fifth Element could be anything, right? Like it's this idea that it's something that doesn't, quite exist. And obviously in the movie, the themes are, it's otherworldly, it's set in the future. So I guess it was kind of like trying to tie into the Future C concept that I had, which was like it's this idea of like what's going to happen in the future, in a weird entanglement thought for you there. But yeah, that's what I was thinking with it. Does Konnakol have a deluxe? Yeah, there'll be a deluxe album. Yeah, with extra songs on there for sure. Yeah, it's not It's not fully shelled out yet. We're still picking out what them songs are going to be. But yeah, we've got some idea. I think there's going to be like 5 extra songs on it. So I think I've got like 3 or 4 of them picked out already. My phone's ringing. I'm going to plug this one last time and then think I'm going to dip. I love you guys. Thank you for being here today. This is the album, Konnakol. If you're watching on Talk Shop Live, click the shop button. If you're watching on Facebook, comment the word shop for links to order. And if you're watching on YouTube, click the link in the description. Big love. See you later.